Here's one. It just says Chainlink question mark. That's a question. It's got a question mark. One thing that was a joke, but somebody really did say that. One thing that I have seen a lot of people say is, one of those projects that has, momentum behind it, big names that we haven't mentioned at all. And people have thought that surprising that in the midst of this discussion, no one mentioned Cardano. I don't think anybody mentioned it. So people are asking, what do you think about, Polkadot versus Cardano? Because you said Polkadot could be a potential, Ethereum killer. There is finally though an opening for someone to compete with Ethereum due to the gas fees if they're not able to fix it with ETH 2.0. So we should start looking for who that is. So anyone have any comments on Polkadot versus Cardano, which is ironic because Cardano's logo is a bunch of polka dots.
Yeah,
That's true. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll preface this by saying Cardano has good technology, actually great technology. I would say technology-wise, it's definitely on par with Polkadot, kind of based from purely a code perspective. But in terms of community and just narrative, we think in terms of really competing with Ethereum, I think Polkadot right now has the best opportunity. Now, that's not to say Cardano cannot do well, but I think just purely based on having their narrative of interoperability, of DeFi, of Gavin Wood, and just being new and sexy and shiny, that kind of takes the attention of the crypto community, while ADA is basically the old project that's been around forever and is still building. And I think people would have just kind of pushed it aside because maybe it's taken too long, right? But yeah. I mean, they both do have good technology, but I think if I had to place my money into one project, I would say Polkadot over Cardano.
No, hey, look, easily. The stages that Cardano uses for the roadmap, with the scientists in there and stuff, the chicks definitely aren't sexy. So they look they don't look like even back in the 1800s you've been taking them on a date. So I mean maybe a lot of you guys have never even touched the physical touch of a woman.
No, please don't. I would say for DOT, I mean, I'm really big in the private sales space right now, and I mean, if it's on DOT, it's going to sell out very quickly. Everyone doesn't give a crap about a lot of these other projects. Some of them do, there's like Rio, and that's one of them. I think Frontier Wallet is on ETH. There's definitely competition between the two. Gather, Mantra DAO. So there's definitely, we can see that both sides are producing some really great products, new projects that could have, really those are the multi-X gains that we're going to see, like the Alliance blocks, which listed at 70X and things like that. So I am looking into these guys. Some of them are ETH, some of them are Polkadot. But when I go and ask people, what do you guys want me to try to, score as an allocation, or what are you guys looking at? I would say about 70% of people are saying, man, here's the list and it's just Polkadot projects. This is what we want, especially things like PokaSwap. Oh my God, it's like a bunch of crackheads in a room with a little piece left and they're all trying to get it.
It's me. I'm the one. It's me. I'm the one doing that. It's me.
It's what it is. Like, they're all just like, give me that crack, man. I need it. I need that crack.
Low cap crack.
So it's Tyrone Biggums, How many? So
put him on the thumbnail.
Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing and that's what I'm hearing. But both are providing good projects. But when it comes to gas fees and stuff, if it's a yield farming project, if they're going to do that, a lot of people are like pushing now towards DOT. Great technology, interoperability. It has more than Ethereum does right now. Now, I mean, that will change if ETH 2.0 performs, but I'm just concerned that ETH 2.0, it's going to take longer than I think people expect to change your blockchain basically completely. I find that if we're talking about Cardano, ETH was kind of like Charles Hoskinson left ETH to kind of do what DOT has done. Like, he wanted to leave to make a proof of stake. And I kind of feel like when you look at Cardano, that's exactly what he's tried to do. But, there is things that are competing with them, especially Cosmos and DOT. So it's really interesting to look at all of them. And I think not one of them has to be the best. I don't think you have to kill Ethereum. I think a lot of them can coexist. You can have Pepsi and you can have Coke and you can have Fanta, and all of them do really well. So that's also something we can think about because the space is so small. I mean, we don't even have $1 trillion market cap yet. Gold has $7 trillion in itself. So
Don't say any of that to those Bitcoin maximalists because they think only one coin. Okay, I think in every other thing that exists in the world, there's multiple choices, except for Bitcoin. It's the hardest money. You can only use it. These billions of dollars in altcoins are just gonna disappear in a giant crypto rug pull scam, I guess. I don't know.
And it's super fast Bitcoin too, right? Like super fast.
It's funny, like Bitcoin as a currency is dead. Anybody that's still pushing that narrative is not realistic. Bitcoin.
Yes.
I can see him at Starbucks now. Hold on, guys. Let me open up my Lightning channel so I can receive this for your frap.
All right. How about you, Crypto Love?
Yeah, I think that when I've never been, aside from like the very beginning of Cardano back when it was like 2 cents up to the run up to $2, I haven't been much of a fan of Cardano. And I think because it became such a fanboy project that everybody already bought into it and everybody already owned Cardano, that there was no place for it to go, no place for it to go up. And then Hoskinson, he brought in all these scientists, engineers, and academics. And while that sounds great, they move at the speed of paint drying or snails or slow.
Or a COVID vaccine.
There we go.
Same people. It's the same people, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So they got a bunch of good ideas. And then I'm not a big fan of what's happening in crypto, people making promises and not really standing up to them. So when he had the whole Shelley testnet thing and he said it's going to happen or I'm going to eat a shoe, and then he didn't eat a shoe. Like I wasn't a fan of that.
McAfee,
or he's like
where's McAfee at right now, bro?
Yeah, or McAfee who said he's going to eat his own dick and then he doesn't.
It was a joke all along.
Yeah. Then he spirals it back and says, "Come on, guys, you really thought I was going to do that?"
Yeah.
We know what you're into. We kind of thought you might.
We've all seen the movies. Come on.
So, but I mean, Polka is definitely a shiny new thing right now. Definitely the shiny new thing. It feels like I wasn't around in crypto when Ethereum first came out, but it feels like what I imagined Ethereum was like an open development environment to get a whole bunch of developers in there. Like that's what I imagined Ethereum was like back then. I never felt like Cardano was like that. I felt like it was like a hired scientific staff to develop this project. And so I think because of that, it could be a lot more nimble and quick and potentially show something.
All right. Bill, any comments to add in terms of Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink?
Sure. I think when you start talking about Cardano or any of these, what they will call this term I'm seeing now, like sort of almost like old cycle or prior cycle coins and alts, that Cardano, for whatever, quality it has, is going to get lumped in with, I don't know, your Dashes, your Zcashes, and all of these, your Bitcoin Cashes, all of these old cycle coins where people are basically sitting around holding bags, watching, stuff moon now over 9 months. And now they're asking themselves, if there's a normal correction in a bull market, right, which is basically what BitBoy was highlighting. If you have a correction in a bull market and there's a buying opportunity, am I going to hold this old cycle stuff or am I going to jump into Chainlink or Polkadot? Right. And I think the answer is clear, right? The bag holders are going to dump this other stuff, even if it's down, right? Which could, okay, so we could have a Rectember, whatever, but that's probably their mantra. They'd be like, okay, I'm done with this because I know a year from now, I'm going to be better off with Link or Polkadot, based on it's not just a shiny new object now, but it'll be the shiny new object later. And I'm over holding this stuff. Cardano.
It also goes with the crypto trader mantra of buy high and sell low.
Yeah. Well,
right.
What we all do anyways.
or there's stuff that you've held for a long time that's still in profit, and you're just like, you watch, and I've done this myself. I've watched stuff and it's in profit, and I'm like, should I wait for it to go up like another 20%, or should I sell it and buy this new shiny crap coin that probably is going to do 25x on the second it drops on Uniswap or it drops on an exchange? You know, like I'm looking at those and going, yeah, I'm going to sell the Neo, you know, that I bought at $9 because meh, you know, it's just Neo. Yeah, it might do really well, but come on. That's
Yeah,
my
okay.
opinion. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that that is a good point. I'd say if you have bags you're tied to, like, man, there's nothing better than being free of them. You know, it's sunken cost fallacy, where you believe that you have too much time invested into this financial investment to give up on it. But you know what'll happen is the price will go back up, and then people dump it, you know, when it hits a moderate level, and you'll be thinking like, oh, it's on the way back up, you know, and you'll stay married to your bag, and then you'll get wrecked all over again. Because that's a great point, and man, that's a good video idea I'm going to do probably this week, which is, you know, the average retail investor, okay, and that's, you know, I don't know about Bill, okay, that guy, he used the word Goldman Sachs, okay, for me, okay, I've never done any institutional investing, okay, or anything like that, or any accredited investing, maybe one day. But so we're mostly retail traders. Everybody you're watching on crypto YouTube, for the most part, retail traders, or at least that's how they came in. That's what most people are. So the fact is that your retail investors will be much quicker to sell those bags at losses because you want to jump in the housing thing. However, the people with the big bags, the founders, the foundation members, the advisors that got in early and never sold, those are the people that are waiting for the price to hit a break-even point for them, and they are going to dump those bags. So I really like that idea, you know, of thinking about the projects from the last bull cycle and whether or not, you know, they'll be able to have the juice in the next cycle because of that happening, where the whales are going to dump every time it starts to get. Now, of course, listen, I believe everything almost is going to hit new all-time highs. I mean, that's just what is going to happen in the parabolic part of the bull run. So I think people will be able to get their money back on those projects. But the question is, would you be better served taking the money out now and, you know, putting it in the new hot shiny tokens? Because we do know that on average, I believe it's about 45%. So about 4 to 5 of the top 10 changes over every single year. And we've actually seen more changing in the top 10 over the last year than I think we've seen in any other cycle. You know, the top 10 has just been constantly in flux. When if you look back at 2018 to 2019, it seemed like that top 10 was like set. You know, now we're looking at, you know, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, like maybe even getting shoved out of there soon.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Time. Jesus.
Bitcoin SV
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. I don't mind Bitcoin Cash too much. I don't trash talk it, but I don't love it. But
All right. Well, thank you, Ben, and everybody.